Hello, good evening. I hope all is well. Over here on the East Coast, it is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm just grateful to be on StreamYard again and actually found a lot of new stuff. So I'm actually very excited about the next few weeks. You're in for a treat. It was a great time over the last 2 Mondays working with you all. And I wanted to come here today and go over the 7 steps to conscious clarity, kind of go through them one by one, and then give you an example of how Melissa and I answered the same questions in the workbook. So let me share my screen real quick. Beautiful. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So with the 7 steps to conscious clarity, the goal here is to identify a goal, right? It could be a small goal, it could be a big goal. It's you're really in control. You can use this pretty much for any goal moving forward. If you like to kind of brainstorm, get things out of your head and on paper, this is really good. Also great for those planners who like to look at what they need to get done over time so that they can mentally prepare themselves and emotionally prepare themselves. So I have used this tool over and over and over again. It reminds me of what it was to build and design buildings. Designing a building is very much having a vision, feeling into what you wanted to create, organizing the steps, hiring the people, and then having them do the work in a very specific order to have a finished product. And yeah, again, we're taking that same level of intention, right, when it comes to what we're creating. So the first step to getting conscious clarity is to identify a goal, a desire, fix in your mind the specific vision that you have for yourself, right? And next, you're going to want to connect to the emotional benefits. Like, why do you want it? Like, what is it about this goal that is important for you? Identifying what you gain from an emotional perspective in achieving this result, goal, or vision. And that kind of is the fuel behind a lot of the action. So we're also going to decide what we intend to give, what we're willing to give, what we're willing to do in order to get there, and also what we're willing not to do, what we're willing to sacrifice or let go of as we go about working on a daily basis and acting on this vision that we have for ourselves. Step 4, we're going to establish a specific date when we want to have that goal accomplished. And this allows you to kind of forecast what needs to happen in what order, which is the next plan, right? Which is the next step, which is creating a definite plan and begin to execute on it immediately. Now, I want to stress on the fact that it's immediate because you don't have to have everything ready to get started, right? So this goal is to gain clarity, but at the same time, if you get this stuff going and you're revving your engines and there's certain things that you can do on a daily basis to start getting to your plan, start taking those actions daily, irregardless of finishing this out. It's just a cool thing that starts to happen when we actually just are inspired and start to act on things immediately. Step 6 is writing out this statement, right? Identifying everything that you've put together, your goal, your desire, the benefits that you're getting, the time, and what you intend to give, and writing it all out. Right? You can do that on a piece of paper, blank sheet of paper, right? In this workbook, if you print it out, we provided you with some things that you can write on, some lines that you can write within. However, you can do this on any notebook, workbook, anything that is comfortable for you in your home or office. And then the last step is to study the plan. And we're going to talk about why it's important to review the plan daily, twice a day, in the beginning of the day and at the end of the night before you go to sleep, right? So when it comes to the first step, fixing your mind on a specific goal, what we're trying to do here is get very specific, right? The more specific, the better it's going to be, right? So you need to pick exactly something that's in your mind. It's got to be something that's exciting, something that you are excited to achieve, right? You have to have a burning desire in order to achieve it. And it's okay to think big. It's okay to dream big. In fact, dreaming, if you're not dreaming big, if your goal doesn't scare you, kind of makes you nervous, then it's probably not big enough, right? At the same time, you can use this same strategy for small goals, right? If it's going to take several steps to get it. But for the sake of this exercise, we want you to dream big, right? And it's not about saying I want more of this or I want this. We want you to be very specific about what it is you want. We gave you some examples here. I want $5 million. I want a committed, loving relationship with such and such. I want to look good, feel good, and weigh this by this date, right? I want to fit into this dress by this date. I want to do this, do that by this date, right? Very specific about what it is that you are looking to achieve. And it's, again, you got to pick something that is exciting for you, something that is like you're burning inside to create this thing. It's you're at the point where you're like, I've burned the boats. I want this thing. There's nothing that's going to stop me, right? That's how you know you got a really good goal, a really good vision or desire to work on for this exercise specifically, right? And again, we provided some space for you to fill out throughout this workbook, right? Now, step 2 is making a list of the emotional benefits. So this is the reason why behind it, right? So you're going to start to identify and list out like how you would feel as an end result. And a good tool to use is like if you can put a vision, if you can visualize your goal, if you can see all the details of your goal, the more specific you can get with the goal, the better. This kind of pre-framing your body for the emotion, right? You start to visualize what you want. You start to hear the remnants of what it is that you're looking to achieve. Maybe it's feedback from other people. Maybe it's testimonials from other people. Maybe somebody close to you who are realizing that you achieved this. They're saying great things about you. And more importantly, what are you saying to yourself now that you've achieved it, right? When you get into that visual and that auditory aspect, it's going to lead you into the feeling. And those feelings that you're going to get from having achieved that goal, that's what we're after here. What are the feelings that you're going to experience viscerally having achieved that goal, right? Those are the things you want to list. And it's okay to list as many emotions as possible. Just make sure it's specific to you. Don't use any fluff words. Like actually tune into the emotions that you would feel and list them. And if you don't know these emotions, look them up. We gave you a master list of emotions for a reason. You can use that for any and all of these exercises, right? And those emotions are the gas. We want you to get focused on what those emotions are because we can tune in and tap into those emotions on a regular day, right? And so this is a tool, not just for us writing it out a plan, but for us tuning into the feeling and the experience of what it is that we want, the wish fulfilled, right? And to support you, again, hear the feedback, visualize the stuff, identify that achieved result, and start to verbally say it out loud if that helps you too. And that'll help you write some emotions out. If you need some help with maybe one of these things, please post in the group. Tap on myself, Melissa, or any of the women here in this group and see if we'd be open to help you get deeper into what the emotional benefits are for you achieving that goal. Right. And like always, we give you some space to write it out for yourself. Now, step 3, what do you intend to give? Or what are you willing to give? Or what are you willing to do to achieve it? Right. Also, what am I willing to give up? Sacrifice, take a fast from. Like, what am I going to stop doing? What's no longer serving me that I'm going to stop doing or sacrifice, right, to achieve this thing that I'm really, really excited to achieve, right? And in this case, there's nothing free, right? We gotta really understand that it's gonna take some level of work. There's gonna take some level of action to get there, right? So, what are you willing to do to get to that goal? And I'm really happy that we've laid out an example so that you can kind of get into what we mean by that, right? So again, what is it? Seeking out somebody? Is it doing specific things? Do you gotta buy something? Do you have to do certain things in a specific order? What is it, right? What are you willing to do, right? What are the things that you're willing to give? And at the same time, you got to set the environment. You got to set the tone, right? This is a way to frame yourself in an environment that's conducive for growth. It's conducive for actually achieving something, right? So again, what am I eliminating from my environment? What am I adding to my environment? What am I adding to my day and my daily activity? What am I not doing daily in order to achieve that? Just list it all out, write it all out, right? And if you've gone through the clearing the chaos exercise, you have already kind of laid out some things for this step 3 here. Right. Now, step 4 is establishing a specific date. Again, very easy. You're just setting a time in the future, whether it be 90 days from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. You're setting yourself up for a specific date. So just write it down. Be specific. Give yourself that benchmark, right? And the reason why we're doing this is to prime the subconscious. Like we have a goal. It's going to start to support you if you train it to support you, right? So you want to take action on it quickly as well. So it's not just having the date, but making sure you're actually doing something, right? Don't wait, right? There's no better time than right now. All we have is right now. And establishing that date focuses our action in the moment for the moment, right? This will give you kind of like the guardrails, like at a bowling alley. This gives you the rails that you can bump against on, like, so, okay, so you can get back to the goal, which is this specific thing by this specific date, right? We need to find a way to track ourselves in the process, and setting up a time is one of the easiest ways to do so, right? After that, the next best way to do that is to actually write out a definite plan. What are the actions that we're taking? What needs to happen in what order, whether it be you doing the work or somebody else doing the work? What circumstances, people, and events need to be in alignment and need to have happened in order for me to achieve this goal, right? Or achieve this vision or this desire, right? What are the things that you're going to do? Write them down. Doesn't matter what order they are. They don't need to be in chronological order. It's just, this is just an exercise so that you can gain clarity about what needs to happen, what actually needs to happen, so that you can focus on those things. And by having a plan, we're solidifying. Again, it's like having a construction plan. We can't build a future without understanding what the vision is. And we got to keep it real with ourselves by truly understanding the steps that it's going to take to get to our goals, right? And you can fill that out as you go. Now, step 6 is when you go back and you review everything that you've done so far. You look at what you want, the time limit, what you intend to give, what you tend to sacrifice, also the emotional benefits, right? And start writing this thing as a list, right? Now, I would take maybe a clean sheet of paper. It's always best to write it down by hand. We use all of our brain when we're writing by hand. We use less of it when we're typing. I think we only use 8 different aspects of our brain when we're typing, but again, versus the whole brain when we're writing in cursive. So put these ideas out on paper, right? Put this plan on paper. And again, it doesn't matter if it's in chronological order. We're doing this for the sake of doing it, right? And it's having it in front of you does something. It allows you to do what's in step 7, right? Step 7 is about reading this aloud to yourself in the beginning of the day when you wake up and right before you go to sleep. And this part is very important. This part is where you start to leverage your subconscious mind to help you gain clarity while you're sleeping. You see, the conscious mind is like the male energy, or it's the male gender aspect of the mind. It is what directs, right? The subconscious mind is the female. It's the feminine energy of the mind, right? Whatever you impress upon the subconscious mind has to express itself in physical reality over time. And the best times to work with your subconscious mind are right when you wake up and right before you go to sleep. It's that state of prayer. It's that state of peace. It's that state where we're in between the sleep state and the wake state. Those are the moments where your subconscious mind is more susceptible to programming, persuasion, right? And impressing upon you the feelings that are energy that we're writing out, right? We want to impregnate ourselves with the emotions of the feeling fulfilled. And to do that, we need to repeat this process. We need to essentially reprogram ourselves to identify the circumstances, people, and events in our waking life that'll actually help us get closer to our goal. So we're using this as a almost like a cheat code, right? So I will give you an example of what we've done so that you understand more or less how you can go about doing this, and more specifically, how you can take any desire that you have, any vision that you have for yourself, how you can see it, how you can hear it, feel it, right? And then write out a plan to achieve it. and do this with any goal that you have, right? And in our specific case, we use it for what we're doing with you all here in this group, right? Taking daily action towards the life that we want. But before that, let me give you a bonus tip, right? So connecting daily with God through prayer, through meditation, clarifying what your burning desire is, the inspiration for it, verbalizing it out loud and feeling it. Again, having your body feel it is going to move you towards the achievement of that goal, right? Saying incantations or affirmations can also support, right? Especially if you're saying it from a high emotional state of being, right? You're anchoring the new feelings, right? And using just the 7 steps and reading it's step 6 and reading that plan over and over and over again. As in step 7, you're reading that plan and feeling it more. You're persuading yourself to believe that it's true, and not just to believe that it's true, but to know that it's true, right? And again, you can substitute this type of stuff for any type of desire that you have. It's a pro tip that I use for everything. So I was talking to Melissa, and we were asking ourselves, what is it? What is the goal that we have? What is the one desire that we have? And we had to be specific, right? So we came up with this. It's to have 100 people, specifically 100 of our event guests and private clients, to show up consistently for themselves by practicing and using the tools that we provide them, right? And we want that for them so that they can feel good about themselves, feel better about themselves in their life, and feel like they have some type of grasp or self-control in their life, right? And we chose 100 because it was a realistic number that was still far out, but so it was big enough to scare us in the moment, but at the same time, not big enough where like it's not possible. We know that it's possible, and because we know that it's possible, we feel that much more confident, and that confidence is one of the emotions that we wanted to feel, right? We wanted to feel joyful. We wanted to feel confident that we can do it. We wanted to, and we knew that by having and seeing 100 of our past guests and clients in the Facebook group, coming to our online workshops via Zoom, showing up at our in-person real life events when we start to host those again, like seeing 100 people taking the daily actions, we'd feel joyful. We'd feel humbled. We would feel proud, blessed, and protected because we're guided and inspired into empowering ourselves and other people. We feel liberated because we're seeing liberation happening through the actions of other people, right? Energized, calm, creative, playful, right? Feeling powerful, resilient, and compassionate. These are the feelings that both Melissa and I listed after really just getting into the feeling, getting into the state that we want to experience. And this part alone, it just gave us all the energy to get through the rest of this exercise, right? And we did, right? So what were we deciding to do? What did we intend to give? What were we willing to do? And what are we looking to stop doing? So we are ready to meet and work on the progression of this plan daily. We're willing to get on camera and share our experience. Willing to get on camera and do workshops. We're willing to do broadcasts like this, right? We're willing to design graphics, promotional materials, workshop materials, standards, methods of operations for us, and many other written documents and other media. We both said that we were willing to exercise 6 days a week, whether it's just walking outside or doing some jumping jacks or some pull-ups or going to the gym or doing a HIIT workout, whatever the case may be. We're willing to do 6 days a week of exercise so we can feel better as well. And when we feel better, we're going to look better, and we're going to be confident to share even more, right? So we're willing to do these things. We're willing to post 3 times a week online. We're willing to edit and post videos that we've already recorded. We're willing to have one-on-one sessions with others for profit, right? And we specify for profit because we've developed a good habit of just helping people for free on the side, right? And we're creating these things as a means to separate ourselves from people, not because we don't want to work with people, but because people are feeling like they have a certain access to us, which is great. But at the same time, we haven't set up the right boundaries for ourselves, right? So we're willing to stop giving things away for free and create these new boundaries as well, right? Which is a big deal for us, right? And what we're willing to let go of is procrastination. We're willing to let go of being comfortable. We're willing to let go of recreational distractions or escapism or doing things that don't necessarily serve us. We're willing to let go of toxic relationships that we have with others, that we have with technology, that we have with other things. And we're definitely not willing to be quiet anymore, right? We're willing to surrender everything that we have and everything that we think that we want and know for the achievement of this goal, right? So this is very important to us. So you can start to see, like, when you actually do this exercise, you're keeping it real with yourself. You're finding that energy within you to actually prevail, right? And the specific date that we want to experience 100 guests and clients doing the work every day, showing up for themselves every day, connecting, clarifying, communicating at scale by July 2nd, 2024, right? So it's 6 months from the date that we made it yesterday, right? So again, don't make it hard. Just pick a date, right? The best part was actually identifying what we would need to do. What was the definite plan to get there? And again, we didn't put this in any specific order, but these are the activities that we wrote for ourselves. Develop a presentation for a Master of Frequency Masterclass. Have 50 one-on-one paid client sessions with our members and with private clients. Create the digital assets and graphics necessary for each module, each exercise. Produce a video sales letter funnel for our one-on-one packages so that people have some valuable content that we're putting out before they decide to go one-on-one with us. Again, we're trying to serve, right, and utilize the power of spiritual advertising, and we're going to be talking about that and why it is that we're deciding to do that, right? We want to collect 10 video testimonials. We want to relaunch the Limitless Mastery website. We want to scrub and redo and redesign our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Clubhouse, Facebook profiles to be up to date, right? We want to add 10 modules of programs, this being one of them, right, to this Facebook group, something that I'm doing right now live, right? And we want to create audio assets for it so that you also have the ability to listen to these things instead of just watching them, right, as audios. We want to create an evergreen funnel where you have the ability to log in with a password and see all the past workshops that you've been through, see the downloadable PDFs, and then have it so that new people can also go through the Upgrading Your Consciousness workshop online without us, just having a broadcast already there so people can go and enjoy those workshops whenever they're comfortable to see it, right? Maybe some people are working late and can't see us at 7:00. Some people are already asleep by the time that we're posting. So we want to make sure that anybody and everybody who's interested in having this has that, right? We're building the automated funnels to do that. And for us, this is a big deal because automating everything means that it's automated. We don't have to think about it again, right? So I know that for Melissa, this is a very big deal. And for me, it's a very big deal because we want our time freedom back. And we want to make sure that we have all of our attention focused on you all and focus on helping you in developing your spiritual path, right? Make a list of 100 ideal clients, build a membership group through Group CM, which is a website that we use to build our funnels and websites. Call, text, and email 100 of our personal clients and group members. Collect 20 written testimonials and screenshots. Create an affiliate member and referral collection system so that you guys can refer people and make some commission as well when others decide to upgrade into modules or different programs that we're offering in the future. And the goal is to, create a definite plan that would get 30 to 40 new people in this group every month for the next 6 months, right? And we're going to do that by hosting online events and creating a daily newsletter email campaign, right? So these are very specific things, right? Create the audio for the these are very specific, and setting dates for all of that. So we're sharing this with you. We're being a little bit transparent because this is how specific we're thinking for you, right? Well, I don't know what your goal is. I don't know what your vision is, but I want you to care enough where you're writing out specific action steps like this. Now, what I'll probably do next is rewrite this out and put everything in priority, and so that we understand what the most important things to do are first versus what the least important things are. But everything is going on that list, and we're going to be checking it off as we go, right? And setting those dates, doing recordings like this, getting the content out there, and utilizing the content in the best way possible, right? So that's what we're looking to do. So now step 6 is I'm going to take all of this after I reorganize the priorities, right? Because I just, for myself, I need to do that, right? My OCD and making sure I'm focusing on the top level things and going down is to write it out, right? Get on a sheet of paper, write out your name, write out your goal, the completion date, write out the things that you're willing to do, write out the things that you're willing to let go of, right? Just like we did it here, just list them out. You're ready to let go of this. We're ready to do that so that we can feel those emotions. So we're really we're not confused. We're understanding that what we're after is the feeling and the experience of having 100 of our event guests and private clients show up consistently for themselves. And we're going to allow that feeling, those feelings of joy, those feelings of being creative and grateful. We're going to anchor those feelings every day in the morning and every day in the evening right before we're going to sleep, right? Because at the end of the day, we know that we have this treasure that is our subconscious that's going to help us in achieving our goal. So we're going to read it twice daily, and we're going to take the daily actions to get there, right? And that is why we created this little workbook, right? It's super simple. At the same time, you can get in the weeds doing this. It could take your time, right? It could take a lot of your energy, especially if you haven't done this yet, right? But the magic that happens when you put something and say something, visualize something, take it out of your consciousness and onto paper, physical materialize it with your hand, and then repeat it to yourself daily and take action on it. You start to trust yourself. Your body starts to trust you even more. You gain more confident. You start to see things differently. You start to pick up on different things that you might have not picked up on before, right? So use these 7 steps. Use them. I've been using these 7 steps over and over again since 2013. Now the goals have changed. The plans have changed. But I got there by doing this. And I had a little bit of leverage here because I usually design buildings. So what I just went over, right, is theoretically what I would usually do when I was creating a design for a building or redesigning a space. I'd identify exactly what the customer wanted to see. I took note of what the person we were designing and constructing for, how they wanted to feel in the space. So we took into account what they felt, what they wanted to feel in this when they came back to their house, when they came back to their office. Identify that feeling. We identified visually what needed to be there. We designed it and I gave them rendering so they can, give us feedback on whether or not we understood the assignment. We understood what they wanted for us to build. And then we talked about, well, what needs to be done in order for us to actually design and build this thing, right? What are the steps that we need to take in what order? How do we manage our subcontractors, right? How do we design this? How do we get all the materials, to secure all the materials? And how do we organize the schedule so that everybody can work on what they're supposed to do in collaboration with each other so that the building or renovation can get done on a specific date with a specific budget? That process is the same process that we're doing here. Our words are the subcontractors. So let our words, right? Let our desire, our vision, and the feeling of that wish being fulfilled, already having been fulfilled, let those things help you design your path. That's our goal for you, that you can allow yourself to reflect, allow yourself to clarify and connect with what you really want, communicate it to yourself, and take daily action for it. I love you, and I will continue to show it to you with my actions. Looking forward to seeing your goals and your vision for 2024.